All right, today on the show, we have Kristen Boyd from Delisha Boyd LLC in New Orleans. Really excited to have Kristy. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Kristen Boyd started real estate with her mom, and she was her mom's assistant at Delisha Boyd in 2011. And then in 2014, she and her mom started their own brokerage, which now consists of 52 realtors. Now, Kristy studied at Loyola University here in Chicago, I'm guessing, right?
No, New Orleans.
Okay, we have a Loyola here, so I was anyway. She studied at the New Orleans Loyola University in business management and accounting. Now she is also a member of Delta Sigma Pi business fraternity and is a member of Sigma 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 sorority. Now, Kristy strives to make Delisha Boyd LLC a happy and easy experience for buyers, sellers, and agents. Now she's been working close with many investors, giving them quick results. And just like 3 or 4 weeks ago in 2020, Kristy was named in January, she was named a rising star for Real Producer Magazine. I actually write for Real Producer Magazine here in Chicago, so I love that organization. So congrats on that. And also, and this is the big one, she was named out of all of the realtors under 30 in the United States, National Association of Realtors 30 under 30, which is a huge deal. So congratulations, Kristy, to that. And also, you can find Kristen online at delishaboyd.com. And also, please follow her on Facebook. Just look up Delisha Boyd, and also on Instagram, which is Kristy Your Realtor. We'll be posting those. Is that right, Kristy Your Realtor, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Good. I forgot to write it down correctly, so I'm glad I remembered. Welcome to the show, Kristy. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
We're excited as well. You are in New Orleans, and New Orleans was hit pretty hard, unfortunately, right now. How are you doing? How's your mom doing? Everyone okay?
Everyone's fine. I'm blessed to say no one in my immediate family has gotten the disease. One of our agents did, but she is now healthy and well. So I'm grateful for that. But I don't even really like to watch the news anymore.
Yeah, it's a real bummer, and it's just and things just change, and it's so much opinion, and we don't have all the facts yet. So yeah, it's kind of like you want to know what's going on, but you also don't want it to bring you down. It's a constant struggle for sure. What I want to know is, since you've been in real estate, obviously you come from a real estate family, I would love to know how you got into the business. I know you started working with your mom some time ago. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Well, I like to start real young. I love to say that my great grandmother, who raised my mother, my grandmother died at a young age. She's always been in real estate. Now that I'm an adult, I realize in the 90s, a woman owning multiple houses and a Black woman on top of that.
Sure.
It's just rare. So she had a triplex and a double and a single family. And wow. I just knew I was going to do something in real estate from birth. And my mom got into it full time in 2003. And I just always knew I wanted to do something in it. Initially, I was like, I'm on my own title company, so it could be like a true one-stop shop kind of thing. And then I got my daughter after undergrad, so my mom was like, join me. And I never looked back since, 2012, really, to full time, working with my mom, and we started our own company. It was kind of a little push to start our own company in 2014, and I just never dreamed of it being where it is today.
Yeah. So, you guys are killing it. You're doing so well. You've grown so much as a company. Since then, it's really, and I'm somebody, just to give some context, who my job is to recruit agents to work at our firm here in Chicago. So, and I do that full time. I don't produce real estate. I don't, go out and work with clients. All I do is talk to realtors all day and say, come work at our firm. And I know how hard that is. And I know how difficult it would also be to then also do my own production. And so the fact that you guys have successfully done all of that at the same time is absolutely incredible. So we want to honor you for that, and say you're obviously doing a lot of things right. So I want to know a little bit about, you're a younger realtor, although you've had a tremendous amount of experience already and a number of years in the business. So a lot of our listeners who are younger as well, we have tons of, because, a lot of younger people listen to podcasts. I am just curious, for people who right now, as you and I are stuck well, I'm actually in the office, but the doors are barricaded. We're not letting anyone in. We just have to process checks. So I'm actually able to leave the house to come here all day. I'm very lucky to be able to do that. But what are you doing to stay busy right now? You were telling me yesterday you did 4 showings, which is insane and amazing in one day. Can you talk a little bit about just even doing showings right now?
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you my one story, which was Saturday, because it rained Saturday. I did 9 showings.
Oh,
it started
amazing.
from 11 to almost 7 o'clock at night. Wow. And typically it would not take me that long to do showings. But I take extra precaution by wiping down, the lights, the doors and everything. And then I'll allow my client, I'll look through, and then I'll let my client look through, and then we'll discuss it out, away outside. So that typically when it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to do a complete showing, walking through in and out, it's taking like 30 minutes.
Sure.
So it's longer, but I have people who are trying to take advantage of the interest rates and the free time to actually look now, because a lot of people are like, oh, I gotta work, maybe we could do it then, maybe we could do it now. And now not everyone, but a lot of people are interested with the free time to look at things. So it's taking a little longer, but I'm still happy to have them.
Yeah, that's incredible. And now, are most of the showings when you're working with buyers they're vacant at the time of the showing, but are they vacant in general, or are they just telling the sellers get lost for a few hours, or?
So yesterday, I was so upset. He had photos of vacant house, and I still was doing my wipe down, but people were walking out when I was doing it. And I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? They're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're about to get out of your way. I don't think I wasn't prepared. Like, I wouldn't know. I had my mask and my gloves. I told one of the people in 30 under 30, I said I look like an astronaut when I go show houses. But I mean, that took me way back. And I was just like, well, go run in. Go ahead now. Go run in. That took me out. I wasn't prepared for someone to be walking out when I unlocked the door. So I try to minimize showing houses with people in it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard a lot of stories of like, oh, my son had it and he's 8 and he didn't really show any symptoms, but my husband then got it and had it. So many of the symptoms they talk about. So I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know you. I wasn't expecting you. So I wish the agent would have prepared me for people walking out.
Yeah, well, it is called a cooperative commission. It's like, it'd be nice to be a little bit more cooperative. Let me know what I'm getting into. But that's, that's again, just what's going on right now. I have a funny story for you. It's a little off topic, but it's similar to what you experienced. So we happen to be here in Chicago. Our office is right across the street from, I think, the only antibody test center in all of Chicago. So all the news trucks have been there the last couple of days. People drive up and everyone's in like hazmat suits and you can get a test done. And I haven't done it yet. My boss is actually going to do it. And so yesterday it was about 4:30. I was getting ready to just, to leave. And we lock all the doors. So, we don't want our agents coming in, of course. We don't want anyone just walking in off the street. So I took my dog out and I forgot to lock the door as I came back in. So about 4:30, a guy just walks right in to our front door and he's wearing a mask, which is obviously responsible, and he's wearing gloves. And he is, I think English was not his first language. So he talking through the mask and probably through a thick foreign accent. I was having a hard time understanding what he wanted. I thought, well, maybe he's one of our realtors because we have like 700 and he was in a mask and I couldn't tell, does he work with us or is he just somebody, I couldn't tell what he wanted. and he wasn't able to articulate it, or I wasn't able to understand him. And I said, I'm sorry, sir, what are you looking for? How can I help you? And the whole time I'm like, if this guy is looking for the testing center, it's right across the street. And finally he was saying, oh, I need a test. I went, uh-oh. So I pointed across the street. I said, well, it's over there. And I just went, I hope to God he's not sick, because he just walked in. I was like 2 feet from him. There was no way for me to not get close to him to let him out. But anyway, it's a crazy world right now. So
I think it's funny because next door to my office is a nurse practitioner.
yeah,
And when people are going in and out, for the life of me, it's like I have biggest day that we're a real estate company on the door. And
yeah,
they're just like, are you the doctor? And I'm
yeah.
like,
Just walk right in.
no. And I'll lock the door, and they're like banging on, open the door. And I'm like, I'm not opening the door. I'm not what you're
Right.
looking for. I'm telling you, I'm not.
Right.
No one should be having a meeting in the office. I am not who you're looking for. Please
Right.
leave. Read the door. It's on the door. But I'm like always just like, oh, please just don't come to let me wipe the door down. Like,
Oh yeah. I had to
ever
do this.
see what's on the door, biggest day, real
Right.
estate brokerage.
Yeah, you're right. And normally we would love somebody to walk right in and go, hey, I'm looking to buy or sell something. But obviously, now is probably, especially if they're looking to get the antibody test or going to see the nurse next door to your office, probably not somebody necessarily that you want to get too close to. But back to real estate. So, as somebody who is a young rising star, obviously, the Real Producer Magazine has acknowledged you, as well as National Association of Realtors, which is like the craziest, most amazing thing. Can you tell a little bit to our listeners who, again, are maybe are younger, or not necessarily even younger, but just who are looking to get to that next level? And I know right now is kind of goofy times, but generally speaking, what have you found that really works to help grow your business? What have you and your mom, found to help you guys?
When I joined, my mom always made sure I invested. Not so much just even, the clients and showings and stuff like that. She's like, you need to invest. So in 2 years, I need to see you doing something. I think we were talking about Katrina, and that's what I've been trying to educate different people in, really, who's an adult. Like, believe it or not, it's not even so much my younger generation I have to get into it. It's my older generation, because they're like, I don't want to say set in their ways, but it's like, this worked for me for 50 years, honey. I am not trying to go into something I really don't know about with my money and stuff like that. But for example, what's going on right now during Katrina, I'm blessed to say I have investments to help me not feel like, what's next?
Yeah.
Is there going to be, if I don't have a closing, or if I had all lower income clients, I would be out right now.
Right.
But having investments, I have like, okay, all my bills are still taken care of. And I think it's important during this time, because now I'm older, but I've watched it during Katrina. After Katrina, when the stock market crashed, a lot of people were not doing any type of real estate investment. I think I've learned from those situations, how to speak about today on investing. So even if you're in real estate, great. But if you're in it for 2 years and you are even somewhat successful, you need to start getting your own investments yourself and building yourself. That will make real estate even better for you. I think me getting my own investments and now able to relay certain messages because I've learned from it, people are way more eager to talk to me, different ages. Believe it or not, most of my clientele is 45 to 65, honestly, rather than people my age range. But I think this year is my first year getting people, like couples is my favorite, because they're like, oh, before we get married, we're going to do things right. We're going to get up one house. I said, well, I get one, let's get two.
Yeah.
Right? I said, let's take advantage of getting 2 properties. So I've gotten 3 couples who are under 30 buying 2 investments. That's crazy. Like, even their family members are like, I didn't even think that could be something possible. Like, I wasn't even thinking about something like that. But now y'all own two properties. One might be a double that now takes care of both mortgages.
Right.
So and that's just how I started off with getting people involved in it. You know, older people, let's do a little flip. You want to buy this house, but it might need some work. Let's do a flip. So I had an older couple who's closer to my mom's age. We've done two flips. They bought their dream house, but it was able to redo everything they wanted to do to the house the way they wanted to from our flips, and still have money left over to buy another investment. So that's now 4
Wow.
properties in less than a year that they were able to move on. So that's just everyone in my circle I want to get involved in, knowing, at least getting the knowledge for it. And that's just what Delisha taught me at a young age what to do. So
Yeah, and also like think about what a hero you must be to that couple to say, "Hey, I'm going to show you, you know, another path to be able to, you know, even get your dream home more to the way you like it. We're just going to go a little bit of a different way. We're going to invest in some properties and do some flips, and also too, as a realtor, like having that experience yourself with your own properties allows you to bring that information to your clients. And there's so many realtors that, number one, don't know about investments or haven't done them themselves. And, you know, a client comes to them and says, I'm looking to do some real estate investing. And they're probably not as skilled because they haven't, number one, done it themselves or studied it. So now's the time. We all have extra, well, we're busy, of course, but we probably all have a little bit more time to start learning about these skills that maybe when we're super busy and it's back to normal, we won't have the time to do.
yeah, and I tell people there's so many different programs. So if it's the income you're worrying about, there's so many programs for it to get you started. If you know, um, got a double in the meantime to take care of your expenses, especially if they're both sides are already rented, or you even
Yeah.
stayed on one side to pay the mortgage, and now you have whatever income you're generating, you can now save that or pay yourself to now move on to something else. I just think this time, even if you just had one house, it's just it would have been easier to handle things rather
Yeah.
than being just a tenant. You know,
Yeah.
the world had no choice but to say, don't, we can't kick people out during this time.
Sure.
But we don't always have that benefit. During Katrina, you know, we didn't have that kind of benefit.
Yeah.
During the succession in 2008, people didn't have that benefit. So it's, you got to think smarter now moving forward in different ages. I like to talk to people who are just starting out, but the thing is, it's easier for me to pick up my phone and show you pictures of mine, or let's go
Because you've done
drive and
it.
go walk
Yeah.
in mine, and that just eases people better than me saying, I think this would be a great idea. My mama told me about it. Like, that only gets you so that
Do you,
only gets you so far.
I had a friend who was a very well, it was like a friend of a friend. I wasn't really a close friend, but he was one of these like mega wealthy people. And this is like 20 years ago, this story, but it's really applicable sort of to what you mentioned. And he had all these financial advisors calling him because they want, you know, to invest his assets. And he was like millions and millions and millions of dollars. And he, so all these financial advisors from like Merrill Lynch and Morgan Stanley and all those, you know, firms are reaching out saying, I want to be your financial advisor. And he said, great, do me a favor, send me your own investments. I want to see your portfolio. I want to see how much you have in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, managed money, et cetera. And they were like, oh, well, I can't show you my own personal stuff. And he was like, okay, goodbye. Because he wanted somebody that actually was able to say, I'm doing the same thing that I'm going to recommend for you. Right. And I went, wow, that's kind of a brilliant strategy. And if you can find a financial advisor that's willing to say, here's all my investments, here's what I do, here's where I'm putting my money, you know, and you're doing the same thing, basically saying to your clients, this is what I do, and you can do the same thing. I think that is such a powerful approach. So I applaud you for that. That's amazing. And real quickly, for anyone who's listening, who's thinking, I don't know much about investments, the best resource online that I've found, and there's lots of resources, so this is just one, but definitely subscribe to Bigger Pockets. Go to biggerpockets.com. It's the largest investor forum in the country. They have podcasts and books, and they're excellent. And you will get a great education, as a real estate professional about, how to start thinking and talking about this, and learn about house hacking and learn about flips and because what's going to happen, and of course, Kristy can confirm this, is eventually someone's going to come to you and say, I'm thinking about investing in real estate. And if you don't have that experience or knowledge, you're going to have to pass it off to someone else. You're going to probably lose that client.
I think, and I have newer clients who actually work with 3 realtors that we just put in an offer in this morning. What I was telling them is you've got to stop looking at things as like, oh, this is my forever house. This is what we're doing. You have to look at everything as an investment. Oh, we've invested in things before, but this is your own house now. You got to still look at it as an investment. They wanted this one particular house, and I like to look at everything. Because I'm like, things can happen. You might say in 2 years, I don't want it. You just told me you will be in it for 10 years.
Right.
And I said, that's like, I said, the person who's selling the house owned it for 2 years. I'm pretty sure they were saying the same thing you're saying now.
Right.
But the problem is now there's no equity. There's no equity in the house. So now they're stuck. They can't go no lower. They can't move or anything. I said, so we're gonna look at everything just in case you call me in 2 years and say, Kristy, I'm trying to sell my house. So you gotta still look at it as an investment. Anything can happen. You might have, get pregnant and have twins or something, and the 3-bedroom, 2-bath house is not gonna work anymore. So you gotta still look at your actual house as an investment. And I think that's where a lot of people, not just regular people, but even realtors, lose track when they're talking to a client. So, and I make it make sense for them, so they're not like, no, but this is my house, I'm living in. No, it's still an investment. It's still an investment. And my mom moved so much when we were, younger, doing different things to houses and stuff like that, that I'm like, if you under 60, you're probably gonna move again.
Right. Well, and how many people do you think right now? I know I'm in this situation where I'm in my office right now. If you're watching this, you'll see this is not my home, but Kristy's at home, and normally I'm at home, and I'm starting to feel my little condo, I'm starting to feel like maybe this is a little small. It feels a little claustrophobic. And especially with rates being so insanely low right now, even just as a primary residence, I'm like, I think it's time to upgrade, because if I don't want to be stuck in this small place, in case, something like this happens. But I'm feeling that pinch of like, I want to expand. I want to get to a bigger spot. I wonder how many people are going through that right now. I'll bet you, a lot of your clients are feeling that way, and they're just waiting to make that next purchase.
The people I made an offer on, they're like, we're in a shotgun. We got to get out. We need to put an offer today. We don't need to do the back and forth. Like, and what I was telling someone else who was in the 30 under 30, I said, if we could really use the fact that no American, I don't know one American who is a full-time homesteader kind of thing. So I think we could utilize the space much more now for either buying or selling and then buying, to our benefit. And we just go, how you doing? How's the house? Is it smothering you, or is it too big? Maybe it's, my daughter be upstairs, but I'm like, you got 10,000 square feet. I don't know what she's doing, or something like that. Whatever it is, use it to your benefit. I mean, I had one client who said it was just 3 of us, and it was 7,000 square feet. That was like, no, we can't do it. If she upstairs, Lord knows what she's doing. We don't need the upstairs part at all. And then they went into still a nice size, like 3,800 square feet, a little under 4,000 square feet, but it's fitting for them. You could hear if, she broke something or something like that, or you know, it was just more fitting for them. So
Right.
I told him, I was like, we got to use this to our benefits. Like, so are you cramped? Interest
But
rates
what,
are low.
exactly. What a great opportunity to reach out to your contact list, your sphere of influence, your clients, and just check in. How you doing? You know, and they know you're a realtor, so you know you don't necessarily even have to say, "Oh, by the way," but you could just say, "How's everything going? Are you feeling cooped up?" Or you know, and like me, I know I'm like I need to. And if I wasn't in this business, I would be thinking, you know, like I got to reach out to a realtor I want to start looking at upsizing to more space. And so I bet a lot of people are either thinking about upsizing, downsizing, and you know, what a great opportunity to reach out as a realtor and go, "Hey, how's
Mhm.
everything going?"
Yeah, I think I also a little bit, and these are one of my secrets that I'm about to give to people is yearly marketing to the people who already know you.
Yeah.
That's what helped me be go past from just being Delisha's daughter, being, oh, Kristy does real estate as well as her mom, rather than just you're Delisha's daughter. Oh, you do real estate? Like what pushed me from not being just that? Because I say I'm some people I'm like, I'm just Delisha's daughter.
Sure.
You showing the house? No, I'm just showing it for Delisha. Like she like, why you still tell people that? So some people just need to know that's what I am. But
Sure.
I yearly do different things for my past guests. My past guests, my past clients. Like for Mother's Day, I will leave a little something for the moms. I
Oh,
will leave something for the fathers, and it's my biggest clients that like get emotional. Where I'm like, did I drop a check for something? And you so emotional. I'll be so shocked. You're like, I wasn't expecting it. And I think that will
yeah.
go a longer way to even times like this. Let me call Kristy, you know, and it could have been just that drawn them to wanting to, you know, oh, somebody was talking about real estate. I was thinking of you. And it's just more so of not just making them feel like a transaction. So I do something every year, different things throughout the year to let them know, hey, I was just thinking about you, or, you know, I don't want to call only for real estate, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So if I do call for real estate, that's not all the reason why she's calling as well. So I think that's something else I feel like other people can learn from that I was taught from that works well for me, and I'm consistent with it. I've been
Yeah.
doing it for like 5 years, so you know, my neighbor came back on the door. I had left little snacks, popcorn and some candy, and said, "Here's some quarantine snacks." You know, that goes a long way of
I
not
love
just
it.
saying, but I had my business name on it, my business
Sure.
information on it, and I wasn't really talking about real estate, but I brought two of my neighbors to say, "You made me think about this."
Yeah.
I'm ready. I think I am ready to sell. The house is just a little too small, or you know, I don't really need this much house. So it works by doing little things without it making it seem like that's all you're talking about.
You're right.
Like a breaking record. Like, oh, she only calls for real estate.
I got an email this morning. It was basically a spam email, and I deleted it. And then I thought about it afterwards, and I wanted to bring it up just now with you, because I was thinking about this. I was like, I don't have. This is embarrassing. It's like we're like 2 months into this, and I don't have a mask now. I should have one. I don't leave that much. I mean, I don't really go anywhere. So, but I still go to the grocery store once a week. I should have them. I'm like one of the minority people now, like one in the minority who doesn't wear a mask. Like when I first started going to the grocery store, only about maybe 15-20% of people had masks. My girlfriend and I went this last Sunday, and we were like, almost everybody had the mask, and then we felt like, oh, maybe we're bad people because we don't have masks. But anyway, the point is I don't really have one now. The only I do have one because my father sent one to me, and it was an N95 mask that had been left over from years before when they had painters who were using these N95 masks. And so he just had one left over in the garage. So he sent it, actually had two. He sent one to me and one to my girlfriend. Now, so we have them, but they're a little small, so they don't really fit us. But anyway, the point is I don't really have a mask. And I got this spam email this morning saying we're selling, now they weren't N95 masks, but they were, you know, whatever masks they have, better than nothing. And it
Yeah.
was like ridiculously inexpensive. You know, it was, I don't know how many, you know, 100 of them for $20 or something, whatever it was. And I thought, you know, if I don't, no one sent one to me, right? And so other than my dad, and it's too small for my face, or a bandana or something, like now's I mean, it's kind of a strange thing to be sending people, but not the worst idea right now. It's just say, hey, I want to make sure you're safe and healthy. Here's a mask, or here's a 5 masks. Here's just some disposable masks. Be a great opportunity for realtors to provide that.
Yeah, my last few clients I made, and I have a little business bag, and I leave gloves, and then I found a place that I could do shipment orders, but I just pick it up. I have hand sanitizer, so I got 2 cases of that, and I will hand one to my clients, and then a mask as well. Just showing, like, that's another way of saying I care for you without being too personal.
No,
and
it's
no, I just started that like last Saturday.
I saw it on your Instagram. I think that is such a smart and cool, and it's also very thoughtful. It's considerate. And again, I think we often think like all of our clients or just people who we're close to in our lives, whether they're clients or friends or family, that everyone's staying connected. But the reality of it is a lot of people like me, I mean, I'm in this business and I don't have a mask. Like I need to get a mask. And so the reality of it is we think everyone's connected, everyone's staying in touch, everyone's happy. It's like, sometimes even just the act of reaching out and checking in with people makes them feel a little bit less lonely. Like, and in your case, hey, here's some hand sanitizer, here's a mask, or whatever you're able to provide right now and obviously people who like yourself who have been through equally hard, if not much harder times in New Orleans specifically, you guys know the importance of staying connected.
Yeah. I always tell I've been telling people, I gave one of my big investors we closed on Valentine's Day. So I got him really a little small gift just to say happy Valentine's Day. And he almost cried. And I was just like, well, Lord, did I put a check or $100? I said, well, $100 would tickle your fancy, but like, well, did I put a check or something in there? And that was just so thoughtful. Like, you thought of me, and I ever since then, I'm like, you don't even think about like you got to doing little things for people who you're really affected their life some kind of way, as even if if it's that one sale or multiple sales, were a part of their life in a major way. So I got to do more, because here's a guy who I feel like has everything, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna give him a little something. I don't know what this is gonna do for him, and it touched him way bigger than I expected it to do. So, and I've given, like I said, I've done things yearly for other people, but to watch a person like get choked up over a $20 gift, if that much, I'm like, you really don't know who needed it for that moment. And I think he needed something in that moment. And I was there to provide it for him. And I'm around him like twice a week. So it's just, you got to be more aware of who you're around, I guess. So it's the smallest thing.
Yeah, I saw a cartoon once that it was kind of illustrating your exact point, where it's a father and son and they're walking down the street, and the son is a little boy and he says to his father, I wish I was a superhero. I wish I had superpowers. And the dad goes, I actually am a superhero and I do have superpowers. The son's like, what? No, you don't. You're just my dad. He goes, watch this. And there's a guy across the street, and he's wearing like a goofy hat or just like an unusual hat. And he says to the guy, he says to his son, watch this. And he yells over to the guy and he goes, that hat is awesome. And it looks awesome on you. And you're awesome for wearing it. And it was, it was like a genuine thing. He wasn't making fun of the guy in the hat. He said it. And as they walked by, the son turned around and looked at the man, because they had already walking past him at the time. The son turns around and the guy got a big smile on his face. And then the son says, I guess you are a superhero. Like, in other words, you just used your superpower to make that person feel good about themselves or connected or whatever. And it is a superpower, right? And we all have the ability to do that. And right now, more than ever, it's important when we're all, everyone's scared, everyone's struggling. We're trying to stay positive. We're trying to stay upbeat, but it is tough. And so now is a good time to, to spread some good vibes and tell people you care about them.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell them you care, and and we all are great at something, and we just keep each other informed. Like a lot of my mom's clients are nurses and doctors, and they keep us informed. We've done lunch giveaways for them and stuff like that, just to show we care. But I'm also keeping them informed, like, interest rates are low, maybe refi this property or this and that. Where it's just genuine on keeping everybody on their toes all the way around. So you can be genuine and still get, they giving you advice. So just wear gloves when you go out, or wear a mask when you go out, or make sure you wash your hands every time you do this and that. And you should feel comfortable of giving the advice on what you're good at. I don't do nursing or doctor, but I will tell you this is what's going on in real estate. So if you can jump on it,
Right.
And that has worked. It has worked really well. So I love it.
Well, no, you're so right. And if we think about like the news cycle right now, we turn on the news or we go to news websites. Obviously, the current pandemic is going to be the majority of the news stories, of course, because it has to be. But what is often lost right now is, rates are at an all-time low, or certainly as low as we've seen in a long, long time. What a great opportunity to purchase or to refinance. But again, I think that in real estate, we forget that not everyone knows that. Most people aren't paying any attention to that right now. They're just paying attention to what they're seeing or reading in the news. And those stories aren't as popular right now about interest rates being so low. So what a great opportunity to very kindly and cordially and not in a pushy way say, hey, by the way, here's one thing you may want to think about right now. And I would love it if any of the people that are my service professionals in my life were to call and say, hey, right now I was just thinking, like my accountant, she's actually done that. She reached out to me and said, hey, by the way, did you apply for the paycheck protection thing? This was a month ago. She's like, if you didn't, you need to do it right now. And I was like, and I already knew to do it, but I was like, thank you for reminding me,
Yeah, mine did the same thing, which I was like, I didn't think of it, and I had some questions, and I'm like, no, you could do that, you could do this, or you could do that, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I want to hear this story. This is such this story is so funny. Tell us about the condo in the French Quarter with the inspector. Do you mind? You shared it with us off camera. Do you mind telling us that story? It's a great one.
It was. So we're doing inspections, talking, laughing, and joking, and then all of a sudden, I gotta paint the picture. A heavy set, maybe 5'8". He's about 5'8", heavy set guy, running like who's an Olympian, and all I don't ask questions. I'm scary, so I'm like jumping, like where should I run outside or should I run up? And all I hear is the dog behind him coming straight for him, and he's just like, get the dog, get the dog, get the dog. And we just jumped up, but instead of fear, I had to bust out laughing, because just whoever you in your life, just who's heavy set, goofy looking in your life, imagine him running just straight to get away from a dog. And I'm like, really? And I didn't ask any questions. I just, my mom jumped up, and her friend jumped up on a table. And I'm like, I was dying laughing, because to imagine him running was just hilarious. The things you see in real estate, though, just normal inspections, and he is just out of nowhere. It's just like a normal. I don't even think they heard a dog barking. He just came out of nowhere, like zoom, run, and I'm like, that is the most hilarious thing. I have another story as well, was it the same? No, it wasn't the same inspector, same company though. It was for my property. I was having inspections, and the lady was off her rocker. And now today I can laugh about it, but I was crying at the inspection And I'm like I said, I'm a realtor, but I'm human too. And she was off her rocker, and she just thought everyone was out to get her. So she said that the inspector was giving her bad vibes. So she was like throwing things at him to like stop, and he's just like, whatever, I gotta, finish the inspections. I'm almost done. And then he just started bawling. He says she started boiling water, and he just didn't know what that meant. Same situation. He just ran so fast. He ran so fast. The pipe inspector ran so fast. The owner left me, ran so fast. The co-owner left me, ran so fast. I'm on the phone with my mom, like, what do I do now?
Everyone's running away from me.
Everyone, when I realized what was going on, everyone had left. It was just like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what just happened? Like, everyone just left, and they were just like, he was just like, I'll buy you breakfast. I said, okay, great. I'm glad we're talking on the phone about it, but like, you stranded. She was bawling water. I said, oh no, I'm done for today. And everyone, like, it was like one by one, people running out.
Hilarious.
A small 1 unit side. It was 2 units, but it was one side just running out of nowhere. It was like all in 3 minutes, everyone was in the car and left. And I'm just like, what do I do?
Like, what just
Typically,
happened?
I'm the one who will leave you because I'm scary. So I'm like, typically I ask no questions, be like, I'm out of here, but it's like my property and my money that I had just spent. So I'm like, wait a minute. I ain't hear no gunshots, so why are we leaving? She was boiling water. I just left. I said, she was boiling water. Y'all didn't know she was gonna throw it up. I don't know what she was gonna do. She said
Yeah.
I was a demon, I was a devil, and I was just
Oh
like,
no.
Lord. So I have seen the craziest.
Oh, for sure. And I also want to, for everyone who's listening, who may be a real estate professional in the New Orleans area, please look at Delisha Boyd as a firm to possibly hold your license and to work with them. Can you talk a little bit about your firm and what you guys offer?
Yeah, so we actually are, we have different people in different parts of Louisiana, and we're now licensed in Georgia and Mississippi. So
Wow.
yes, I'm, as of early last year, we became affiliated with the other states, and I'm excited. And I love the fact that in our office, we are like a family. So we
Yeah.
always discuss things. We have meetings. We do 2 meetings that I love. We do it in office where we'll have another affiliate from a different business, like a insurance or title company or whoever, to give us advice on like their field or inspections, anything, to give us advice on what's out there, what to know. But then we also support a local restaurant every month. We've been doing that for 2 years, 2 to 3 years now, where we'll support a local restaurant, meaning we may see the owner of the at the restaurant, and most of the times they're there, take photos, talk to us about what made them start their business, and I like to incorporate that in what we do. So I love that about us, but I really love the fact that everyone's able to talk to someone in the company, because I've been a part of a big company with hundreds of people, and they just like, I don't talk to anyone. And I
Right.
didn't really want that to people to feel that as a vibe, or we're competing against each other. I wanted it to feel the way it is, a family. Let's talk about it. I had this happen. What do you think? Or this just happened to me, and I realized this wasn't right, or this was right, or this
Yeah.
worked out well, or I had this marketing idea. Let's join together and do that. I love the fact that we have that, so we are able to help each other grow as not just business but individuals. I'm happy to see a lot of people have grown from the first year they joined us to where they are now. And I love it. I love what we stand for and what we strive to be. And I love the fact that even the people in the company, because it takes more than just 2 people, but even the people in the company make it open and available to help each other as well. So I love that. Some people, oh yeah, we went to lunch last week. I'm like, oh, I'm jealous. I'm getting invited. Or they'll do deals together or co-list things together, or we'll refer things out. One of our agents who I said was covering from COVID-19, we all prayed over her together as a company, and we help. Do you need help with these listings or whatnot, or whatever it is, to make it more than just a company that you are under. So that's what I like about us. Love about us.
Yeah. And I think we have a lot in common there, because I work for a firm that's a family-owned company, just like you guys. And it's funny, we have almost 700 agents now, which is crazy, because when I started, we only had a few. We've grown quite a bit. And, but it was funny. I was chatting with somebody this morning who's thinking of coming over from one of the big franchise firms, a great company, but just maybe was thinking about making a change. And he said, how many agents do you guys have? And I told him, and he said, oh my gosh, that's so many. That's huge. And I went, I guess so. I mean, it is, but we just think of ourselves as a family company. We think of ourselves as a small family company. We like it that way. You guys are that way, even though you're not small anymore. You have 50 plus people. And it's like, it's nice to be able, I think a lot of agents really connect with that family owned and small family feel. I bring my dog to the office, we're sort of that way. And it sounds like you guys are a little bit. I wanted to also ask you about the New Orleans Motor Raceway, because you've been sort of affiliated with working with that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the dog story was from the owner, one of his customers. Yeah. So my mom, and they have a funny story, and I will let her tell it one day with how they met, and I love it. But her and Lane Swiss are, I like the fact that I could say they're friends, and then but it started off with, let's talk about business. But when they started talking about their stories and everything, it grew into friendship, and I love that and love learning from him from a different world. And he will always shed light on investing, and he does major investments, which then gave him the racetrack. And I love the fact that he did the racetrack, his money, his way. I love it. He was just like, I didn't need to get all these other people or corporations involved in it. Like, he made me, okay, let me look at real estate totally different, and I like to say, like, those people are the ones who mentor me in going different directions, not so much of a selfish direction, but looking at things in different ways rather than today, but in the future. So, and I love it.
Yeah. I mean, would you have ever thought that you would have anything to do with a racetrack growing up, right? Like, that would be so far beyond.
When she told me about it, I was like, oh, okay. And then being a part and watching the beginnings to today with the Indy race was amazing. And he did a movie with Will Smith, and I went to see like how they were shooting the movie for that. And yeah, it was awesome to watch the racetrack go from just a lot of stuff not even being built yet to its finished product was also just a dream. Like, I just kept looking like, is this real life? Is this real life? And I'm like, this is crazy to watch that kind of investment happen before my eyes. So, and then knowing the person who's actually doing it and able to one-on-one talk to him about it and what got you started and everything like that, and him actually being the one to walk us around and talk about it and show us where he wants to be. And it's his vision. Like, I've been around so many big investors where it's like, I got the loan and I got this and I got that, but to it be his full vision, this is how it's going to go. It was a humbling experience. And I took advantage of asking Amy and everything. Like, I just wanted to know more. Tell me, walk me. Like, I want to know what what got him there and what made him want to do it. And it was just surreal for the last few years watching just different investments with him rather than just the racetrack. Delisha is a part of all his other investments as well, condos, houses, and stuff like that. So it's just been a treat to be a part of it. Yeah. But yeah, that was it's still surreal.
Well, look, I think that's a great place to sort of wrap up, because, what I want to make sure all the listeners know that if you are a real estate professional looking to see what other firms offer, Delisha Boyd is a firm for you. Reach out to Kristy, reach out to her mom, or anyone else on the team to find out more. But also for anyone who's looking for a real estate agent who's, in your area or any of the states where you have presence, whether they're a buyer, a seller. Also, of course, investors. You guys focus a lot on investments, which is great. But renters, anything. What's the best way someone should reach out to you?
Well, any and everywhere, but I'm always phone away, which is my phone number is 504-400-3945. I'm on Facebook, which is Kristen Boyd. Instagram, Kristen Boyd, you're a realtor. I'm on everything. Twitter, Kristen Boyd. Anywhere you need to reach me, I'm answering. If it takes me a minute, I might be showing the house or with the client, but I will return your phone call, I promise. And I won't stop until you are getting whatever you want, an investment, first time house, or whatever. I'm not going to stop until you achieve that goal.
Well, perfectly well said. Well, Kristy, thank you for your time. I know how busy you are. You've been doing showings like every day this week, which is amazing. And you've been so busy. And for those who are watching this versus listening, you might have seen Kristy's daughter sort of dart around in the back. Kristy has the cutest daughter. She's been up and down the stairs and running around in the back over the course of the interview, which is but very cute, very cute. Anyway,
she's a superstar in the family. She's not used to me getting the spotlight, because she is a superstar in the family. Her and Delisha, they're like, I like for them to be the superstar. So when people call me, I'm like, oh, what, me, not
little old me.
I'm like, look, Delisha is awesome. You sure about that? No, we call for you. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to be humble in any way anymore, because you are one of National Association of Realtors 30 under 30. That is, we have to remember like just how big of a deal that is. And Kristy's way too humble to talk about it, but it really is a big deal. We're talking about tens of thousands of realtors who would love to get that award, and it only went out to 30 people. So congrats. But for anyone
and 30 is phenomenal. All 30 of them.
Oh, I know. We've had several of them on the show. We love the 30 under 30 group. You guys are all rising superstars, and we're excited to promote you. So on behalf of the listeners, Kristy and I, or on behalf of the listeners to Kristy, we say thank you for giving us this time. I know now it's time to go back to your other superstar, your daughter, spend some time. So thank you for giving us some of your time today. And also on behalf of Kristy and myself, to the listeners, we say thank you for continuing to support our show. And we ask that everyone who's listening or watching just does two quick things for us. One is think about one other real estate professional that could benefit from having listened or watched this interview with Kristy, and send it over to them. You can follow us, or rather you can send them right to our website, keepingitrealpod.com, or just pull up a podcast app and look for Keeping It Real. It'll pop right up. Also, the second thing is, please, everyone right now, follow us on Facebook. Go to Facebook, just look for Keeping It Real Podcast, will pop up. And every single day we post an article that we find online specifically for realtors to grow their business. And we post all of these episodes as well there. And also follow Kristy on Instagram at, is it Kristy Boyd, your realtor, or Kristy, your realtor?
Kristy, your realtor.
Krissy, your realtor, and that's Krissy, your realtor. We'll be posting those links as well. Krissy, thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
We wish you and everyone around you continued safety and support and all of that. And you're doing everything right. And we're so excited to watch your growth. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. All right.